Hey viewers, welcome to another episode of the Noob Guide for Noobs for Dota 2. That's what I called it. Today we are discussing some items. I don't know all the items yet, so I do suggest you look over them a little bit. I will explain the items that I know, and for the rest, yeah, you'll just have to figure it out or watch my games, or because in my games I kind of discuss items that I learned how to use and things like that. I'm going over the basics here, so don't think you know everything after I've told you what I can tell you. Anyway, just like in League of Legends, and that's the only thing that they have in common, items are built by buying small items first, bigger items later, or upgrading them into bigger items. So you have like the system from League of Legends and Dota, and you have the system from Smite on the other hand. Smite, you buy the item that you want in the end at level 1, and then you upgrade it to level 2 and level 3. Here you buy a small item that builds into different higher tier item that builds you into a higher tier item of another different name, and so on. So we have several categories, obviously. First of all, this first column, those are consumables. That's where you start off with early game. The most important ones is the courier. That's here. I will discuss the courier in 2 days. Tomorrow we will do the shop and the map layout. The day afterwards we will do playstyle and kind of what's expected of people. This is the donkey, the courier. It will bring items to your lane if you tell it to do so. So you don't have to run back to the shop because there is no recall button. So if you have to go to the shop to buy items, that would be inconvenient. So they made a courier. You can upgrade it to a flying courier, but you have to have a courier first. And basically those two are bought by the support player. So you kind of have to discuss beforehand who's going to buy the courier, but you have to have one right off the bat. Because otherwise you have to go all the way back to the shop, buy a courier, set it onto the ground, and then run back into the lane, and that is very inconvenient, plus it costs you a lot of gold and such. Anyhow, then these are mana potions. This is a health potion, well, a basic health potion, and this is a health potion that has 3 stacks on it. You consume a tree, so you have to eat a tree to use it. Then again, you get to eat a tree, so you get to make a path through the jungle with these. These are used when you don't want to get hit, because if you get hit while using a mana potion or this health potion, then you lose the healing effect. So it completely cancels. What you have healed that far, of course, will be still on you, but this one will just keep healing you. So obviously this one would be good in the middle of a fight or while being in lane or jungling. This one is a much bigger heal, but it's risky if you're in lane or jungling because you can't get hit. Anyway, Smoke of Deceit, their purple ball, it allows you and all of the teammates around you to be invisible. So it has 1 stack on it. So basically, no, hang on. Yeah, Smoke of Deceit has 1 stack. So you can use it once and then it's consumed. It's a pretty big AoE. It hides everyone around you, including yourself, obviously. And you can use it to gank with multiple people. You can also use it to escape in some situations because, well, it makes you invisible. So it's kind of good that way. Then this is one of the most important things to have. It is your teleport. It's a scroll of teleportation. It's a town portal. I believe it's called a scroll of town portal, but it doesn't really matter. It is a teleportation to any friendly building on the map, which means that if you lose a building on the map, so if you lose one of your tier 1 towers, you cannot teleport to them anymore, obviously. But yeah, it seems obvious, but it's kind of important to keep your towers because of this. These should always be carried. So every champion, no matter what role you have, whether you're a support, a carry, a jungler, a disabler, it doesn't matter. You have to have these on you at all times. At least one, preferably two. Dust of Appearance, I forgot the name obviously. Dust of Appearance is the counter to Smoke of Deceit, but also to stealth heroes. It allows you to see stealth heroes. It attaches to them for a certain amount of time, don't know the exact time. And during that time, you can see them. So even if they go stealth, or if they are stealth, it allows you to see them. I don't know if it works on wards, because wards are obviously hidden as well. I'm not sure if it works on them. But yeah, well, you can read up on that if you want to. And mainly it's used in team fights against stealth champions, or if you catch a stealth champion in your jungle or in their jungle and you want to kill them, then it's helpful to see them, because obviously they will immediately stealth and run away, and this helps you to catch up, or to see where they're going at least. Oh, the Smoke of Deceit, by the way, gives you movement speed as well. I forgot that, but it's not really important. It's not like the main thing of the item. And you have two types of wards. You have Observer wards and Sentry wards. Observer wards are very basic wards. They're the vision wards from, no, I forgot. The green wards from League of Legends. So they just reveal an area around it, assuming that it's not blocked by trees or other terrain. So terrain blocks the vision of these wards. Putting them on the high ground, the higher the ground is, the better the vision is. So if you put them on super high ground, you get enormous vision. If you put them on normal high ground, then it gives a reasonable amount of vision. If you put them on a low ground, everything that's terrain will block them. So it kind of works the same way as you expect it to do. But you do get more vision if you plant it on higher ground. And you have to keep that in mind, because that is really important. Then the sentry wards. The sentry wards reveal stealth units, but they don't give vision. So you use them in team fights. You use them to scout for hidden champions. But you have to have something that gives you vision in the area. So that can be in a team fight that it can also be one of the observer wards. So if you place an observer ward with a sentry ward, you get a vision and stealth vision. So you basically have it all. But yeah, obviously you don't want to do both of them at the same time all the time. But keep that in mind. These don't give vision. So don't use them to ward rune spots, for example, because you won't see anything. It will just be dark on the minimap. Unless you're there, or unless someone else is there. Then the bottle. The bottle is for mid laners only, I would say. The bottle allows you to heal up. It's the crystalline flask from League of Legends, the new item. But because we have a courier, you can actually give it to the courier, send the courier back to the shop, and let it bring you the bottle back afterwards. The bottle also allows you to pick up a rune. We will discuss the runes when we discuss the map. You will pick up the rune and it will be stored in the bottle for later use. So it's really helpful. The bottle is really one of the primary items for mid laners in the early game. It costs 600 gold. It's a little bit too expensive to buy like super early, but you definitely want it in that early part of the game. Then we get basic items. These are all parts of something else. Well, recommended items here for me, so that I would recommend to people, are the iron branches, which give you +1 to all attributes, which means 1 to strength, 1 to agility, 1 to intelligence, which means a little bit extra health and health regen, a little bit extra armor and attack speed, and a little bit extra mana regeneration. Plus it gives you +1 to attack damage, whichever hero you are. So it's useful. It's not like super powerful, but it costs 50 gold or 53 gold, I believe. Then the Stout Shield, I believe it's called. It blocks, it has a certain chance, I believe, I want to say 53% chance to block damage, to block like 20 damage. It's really useful for the tanky characters and the characters that don't want to get harassed too much. So tanky characters kind of pick this. It builds into bigger items and useful bigger items, so you might want to consider it. Boots of Speed, definitely your first item after you bought. Not the first item right off the bat. Don't buy Boots of Speed when you're buying your first items. This is not League of Legends. You don't start off with boots and potions. You start off with potions. So just potions, maybe an iron branch or two, and later on you will go into the boots. So once you farmed a little bit, you get the boots from either the side shop, but I'll discuss that, or you let it deliver to you by the courier if you're, for example, in mid lane. Anyhow, yeah, the rest is all just smaller items that allow you to build bigger items. This one's kind of useful. Yeah, just read up on the items. Oh, I like the Quelling Blade. I like the Magic Stick. The Magic Stick gives you mana regen, health regen. It gives you a little bit of health, I believe. But it stacks up. It makes stacks for every spell that's cast around you. Enemy spell, I believe, that's cast around you. So it will build up stacks, and then you can use it to replenish your health and mana in the middle of a team fight. For example, Quelling Blade just adds damage. It allows you to last hit. It's available in the side shop, which means that if you're a carry and you're having trouble last hitting, like me, this is your item. And this is definitely my item when I'm playing carry in the side lane. So not in the mid lane, because in the mid lane you have to get it all the way back in the shop, and then you have to send the donkey back and forth, and it's just a lot of work. Anyhow, for the rest, yeah, just read up on the items. There are several attributes, +2 agility, +2 intelligence, +2 strength. Yeah, they all build in into other things. It's not like super important to know all of them, but yeah, there are several very useful ones. So these are all items that are kind of tier 2, so they build straight from these items. And yeah, some of them are really useful. You can see this one is the upgrade on this one. They kind of look alike. Yeah, this is one of the boots, obviously. This is one of the boots. This is one of the boots. A Hand of Midas is used for getting a lot of gold. It's a really good gold item. It allows you to kind of smite a minion, kill a minion instantly, and you get extra gold for that minion. You get a fixed amount of gold for that minion, and that is more than you would normally get for a minion. It is really useful if you're trying to get a lot of gold, but you do have to invest in it, you do have to farm it to make sure that it actually works. My personal favorites from this, well, except for this, is either these boots or these boots. These boots are power threads. They allow you to get plus to either, I don't know how many, but they give you a boost in either strength, agility, or intelligence. You can switch them. You can switch them whenever you like. So if you want more mana regen, you set them to intelligence. If you want health regen and more health, like in team fights, or if you're low on health, then you set them to strength. If you want attack speed, you set them to agility. So you can see how that works. It works for every champion, but it's not the best boot for every champion. Obviously. There is no best boot. That's the whole thing. I wanted to explain that later, but I'll explain it now. There is no standard build like there is in League of Legends. In League of Legends, if you play AD carry, you go boots into probably boots level 2 first, into BF Sword, into Vampiric Scepter, into Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Bloodthirster, and then you build either Last Whisper first or you build Guardian Angel first. One of the two, but you build both of them. And then that's your build. It's always your build. And you can put a Doran's Blade in there just for the fun of it. It doesn't work like this in Dota. In Dota, all items, all higher tier items are circumstantial. So basically the mana potions, the health potions, they're universal. No matter who's in the game, you want to have wards, you want to have health potions, you want to have mana potions. Doesn't matter, you want to have boots. Those are all kind of the standard items. You want to have them whatever happens. But, and here's where we go to the higher tier items, but especially these items. All of the rest of the items are circumstantial. So keep that in mind. There is no standard build. Someone asked me in the last game to at least point out like the obvious items, the items that you should get, like Infinity Edge. Those items don't exist in Dota. Everything is circumstantial. So you need to know the items to actually pick the right one. I don't know the items, not all of them. So I asked my teammates, that's why I'm on Skype with them, what items I should build, because I don't know the items and what they do. I still am learning this, and I will point out some of the items that I learned to appreciate because, well, I play a lot of support, so it will mostly be support items. It doesn't mean that they're not good on other champions, it just means that I buy them as support. I know what they do now. So these boots, for example, they're the face boots, if you want to look them up in the shop. Face boots give you movement speed increase. They basically give you a small, a few seconds of extra movement speed. And that's really useful for chasing people. It's also really useful for getting out of situations. Because it doesn't get, it's basically Teemo's move quick. That's what it is. This one I learned to appreciate because it builds into the Orchid, which I can't find for the moment, but it doesn't matter. It gives you a lot of mana regen. If you need mana regen, oh, here it is. This is the Orchid. It contains 2 of these guys and then something else. Maybe the recipe, maybe something else. It doesn't matter. They give you a lot of mana regen, so if you're having trouble with mana regen, you might want to go for one of these early on. I personally like them a lot because I tend to spam skills because I like spamming skills. It's not because it's good, it's just because that's my playstyle, and I should, or I do change that in certain situations with certain champions because they cannot go for mana regen. So I change it. And for example, supports cannot go for too much mana regen because they can't afford it. They can't afford going for these kind of items because they're expensive. They don't add anything to your gameplay. They allow you to attack more, sure, or attack with higher damage and such, but that's not the point of a support. The point of a support is to help out other lanes, and well, you don't get to have a lot of gold. You have to buy wards, you have to buy the courier, you have to buy TP scrolls, you have to buy health regen for other people. So you basically buy health potions and mana potions for other people. So you don't get to build these kind of items for support, but you do get to build them as a carry. Anyway, Perseverance, also a very useful item. It also gives you mana regen. It's a lot cheaper than the other one. It also builds into something useful. I forgot what, but yeah, it's also a useful item to have. But you kind of have to get used to the items. I know about half of them now, but mostly the small items, so up until here. These items I know pretty well. The big items, yeah, most of them I still don't know. And that's because I haven't played enough and I haven't really learned them yet. I'm getting there, Anyway, then the next tier, which is, I don't know what they're called. It doesn't really matter, the blue items. In the shop, they're all mixed together. You can get this set up as well, but I don't have that currently. Mana regen ring with some other stats. It does give you a mana aura, so everyone around you heals that mana as well. The headdress, I don't know exactly what it does. It's part of a bigger item. Same with this one. I think this one builds from this one. I'm not actually sure, but I think so. The Urn of Shadows, that's a really important item. It's a support item. It allows you, with every kill that happens around you, you get a stack. and you can use each stack separately to heal someone. So you just basically click the urn and hit the hotkey and then click whoever you want to heal. Double clicking something uses it on yourself. It has a small cooldown of a few seconds, so you can't just spam the heal on everyone at the same time. So pick wisely. And as I said, it has a limited amount of stacks, but the stacks do build if you're winning team fights, or if you're even near team fights. An armor and I want to say health regen ring with an aura. Other boots, these are the movement speed boosts that you don't have to activate, I believe at least. These are the boots that I most often buy. Well, these and the power threads are my boots, one of the two. The face boots, I built them on Ursa. If you want to see that game, that's my first game of Dota on my channel. These give mana regen to everyone around you. They're activated, so they're called arcane boots. You have to buy them at the secret shop, but or at the side shop. That's beside the point. We'll get to that. Basically, you stand next to someone who needs mana. You hit the key of the boots, the hotkey, and it will give them mana. It goes for the entire surrounding area, so everyone around you gets mana, as long as they're ally, of course. Drums of Endurance is the next item here. It is a Shurelia's Reverie, basically, but with a limited amount of stacks. You can use it 5 times or 6 times, and every time it uses up one of the stacks, it gives you a movement speed boost. You and everyone around you, it gives you a movement speed boost. Normally, the stacks are enough, but if it's not enough, you can buy the recipe again to get the stacks back. And it's a really powerful item. It's a good support item. It allows you to just, chase people, but also get out of a situation. If you're getting ganked, and you use these, you can most of the time get out of it successfully if you have wards out. And there comes the problem, because most of the times you won't have wards out and you won't see the gank until they actually are in range to stun you. And then of course no amount of movement speed is going to help you because you just die. Anyway, Vladimir's blah blah, I don't know what it's called exactly, it's lifesteal. Lifesteal and a whole lot of other nice crap. It builds from the lifesteal item, this one. This is basic lifesteal, it's only lifesteal. So you might want to go for this if you want some lifesteal. As I said, it's a basic item. This one does way more. It's a really good item on carries that just, well, want to jungle a little bit or want to stay alive in a team fight, melee champions normally. So basically the strength champions, if you watched yesterday. Then Mechanism, also a very important support item. It does the same thing as the arcane boots do, but for health. So instead of giving everyone mana, like the arcane boots, it gives everyone around you health, including minions, by the way. So you can heal your entire minion wave while going into a tower, for example. Then we have, this is a 4-staff, I forgot what this one's called. This one gives everyone a shield, so everyone around you gives them a shield for 50 hit points, which is not a lot, but if you do to an entire minion wave and an entire team, you can get like 12 shields off sometimes, and that's 600 damage, so it can be pretty significant. The 4-staff allows you to throw someone in a certain direction, namely the direction they're facing. So it's a tricky item. It allows you to throw either you, a teammate, or an enemy into the direction they're facing. So if someone is facing you but doesn't want to commit to the fight, so an enemy, then you can hit them with the 4-staff. They will be teleported 600 units forward into your team. And that is of course awesome. It's also very useful for getting people out of the fight, because this can actually help a teammate or you avoid getting caught by the enemy team. Because if you're running away, then it's going to teleport you further away. It's basically a blink, but you can apply it to enemies as well and to allies. Obviously, if an enemy is running away, you don't want to use it on them, because while they're running away, it will teleport them further away from you. You get that. And the Necronomicon, I don't know exactly what it does. Yule Scepter, yeah, I had to buy it yesterday, but I don't know what it does. These items, yeah, this one is for, I do know this one. This one has a cripple. It slows the target movement speed, so it has an active on it. Slows target movement speed by something like 60%, so a huge slow. 40 or 60%, but both of them are huge slows, and it basically catches someone. It's basically a purchasable stun. It's the best one you can get, I think, but yeah, it's a great item. Don't get me wrong, it's a super item. Aghanim Scepter, yeah, it boosts the ultimates of certain champions. So you have to reach your champion to know whether you can boost the ultimate with Aghanim Scepter. It, for example, gives you more damage on your ultimate. It gives you a higher slow on your ultimate. It gives you more AoE on your ultimate. Depending on which ultimate you have, so which champion you are, it does different things. And it is really useful for those champions. So yeah, check it out. Check out your champion that you're playing, whether or not you can purchase this. It's an expensive item, but it's definitely worth it. For example, Zeus becomes, yeah, mega with this item. Yeah, I've seen the damage on that, but the damage on his ultimate is upgraded by the Aghanim Scepter. It becomes huge damage with this. It's insane. Anyway, this one, I already pointed it out. It's built from this. The Malevolent Orchid, or Orchid Malevolent, I don't know what it's called exactly. It gives you a lot of mana regen. It also has an active. The active is a 6-second silence, a huge amount of time to not cast spells. So if you use that against spellcasters, you can basically kill them before they will get out of the silence if you use it correctly. You can also, of course, use it to stop them from killing you, which is useful. I don't know these last two. So you can read up on all of the items, of course, yourself. It will take a long time, but it's worth it, I think. I'm currently learning them by using them. Don't know. I know this one, but I don't know exactly what it does, so I won't discuss it. Shadow Blade. It allows you to go invisible. So you can purchase invisibility in this game. It allows you to go invisible for a few seconds, which allows you to get out of a team fight. It also can get you into a team fight, but not both, obviously. It has a relatively short cooldown, so you can reuse it pretty quickly. But yeah, like most of things in this game, it is very powerful when used correctly. It's not so powerful if used incorrectly. So it's a very good item for like carries, ranged carries especially, that are just very fragile. The Battle Fury, it's basically Tiamat. It's kind of similar to Tiamat in that it does AoE damage. It gives you a lot of stats as well, but I forgot what the stats are. Yeah, just check it out. It's a good item. This one I don't know. This one I do know. This one is kind of like Sunfire Cape on steroids. Gives you a lot of extra damage, something like 60 extra damage or so. And it gives you an AoE magic damage thingy, aura. So it does magic damage to everything around you. Then the Butterfly, I forgot what it does exactly, but it's a very popular item. This item is also very popular. It gives you mini stuns, which basically means you can disrupt any teleport. It also gives you an active stun. So the mini stuns are like 0.2 seconds. The active stun is something like a second or a second and a half. And I think the mini stuns are like half a second. I'm not actually sure. But if you have a very high attack speed champion, you can basically get perma stun with this. So it's really useful. It's definitely really useful. Don't know this one, don't know this one. Vanguard is a very defensive item. It's mostly used on, well, not mostly, it's used on virtually any melee champion that is trying to carry the game. It adds a lot of defensive stats, a lot of health, some armor, and I don't know what else, so I'm not going to guess, but it's a good item. Then the booster thingy, I forgot what it does exactly. It has mana in it, health in it, and I forgot what the last one is, these balls. It has all three of these balls in it. Yeah, I don't know what the last one is. I'm guessing it has something to do with some defensive or some defensive stat, but I don't know. Don't know what this one does. This is mana, this is health, this one I don't know. Anyway, is that this one? Yeah, I think that's the Black King bar. It is tenacity. Well, it is. It gives you, the first time you activate it, it gives you 10 seconds of not being able to be stunned or slowed. It is huge in team fights, in base invades, in all kinds of good stuff. It allows you to avoid any kind of CC, but only on activation. As I said, the first time you activate it, it's 10 seconds. Second time is 9, then 8, 7, 6, 5, and it stays at 5, I believe. You can rebuy the recipe to get the 10 seconds back. But yeah, you can see how you would use it to your advantage at 10 seconds. And then once it reaches like 7, 6, you might want to repurchase the recipe, because 5 seconds of anti-stun is not nearly as good as 10 seconds. And if you do have the money for it, you might want to rebuy it. Shiva's Guard, yeah, it's a defensive item, it's pretty good. Manta Style is kind of the standard, well, a standard item, I guess, for ranged carries. It allows you to get away, because it creates clones where you can send the clones different directions and yeah, escape with that. It also allows you to dodge one of the damage skills. If you use it exactly at the right moment, the skill won't hit. At least that's what I think it does, because I've seen it happen, but I'm not actually sure if that is what happened. So obviously the clones will stay in place until you send them somewhere. So it does require a little bit of micro to pull off like great things with it. But you can also use the clones to scout, but mostly the clones are used for well, defensive purposes. Anyway, this one adds, I forgot what it's called, Bloodstone, I think. Yeah, it's Bloodstone. It adds a lot of health and such, defensive item basically. This one I forgot, and this one is a Heart of Thrasis. It's a standard item apparently on Phantom Lancer. So if you're playing Phantom Lancer, this is your standard item, and it allows, it has a lot of defensive stats. It's a really good item to stay alive. So yeah, you might want to get that. From these items, I know very little. I don't know this one. This one I do know. It's part of another big item. I forgot which one. These are all secret items, by the way. You buy them at the secret shop. So, oh no, these are secret items. You buy those at the secret shop. I don't know these. Maybe you can only purchase them in, well, like the real shop. I don't know why they're a different category. I only know this one. It's a good offensive item. Oh, this one I also know. I forgot what it does though. I know it has an activation, but I forgot what it does. I recommend you read up on those yourself. Yeah, this is a high damage item. This is extra mana and mana regen. This is extra mana, extra health. Adds venom to your basic attacks. As I said, I don't know what this one does. Don't know what this one does. Ring of Health. Health regen, obviously. Forgot. Never seen. Yeah, read up on the rest of the items. I hope I explained plenty of them. Recommended items if you're playing support or if you're early in the lane. As I said, mana potions, tangos, one of these probably. These for a little bit later, but not too late. One of the supports buys this one. Wards are recommended. Sentry wards only against stealth champions and probably only in lane. Branches, I recommend them for early game. So when you're buying your first items, you want to probably add 1 or 2 of these branches in there. I did it in my games as well. As a support, you don't really get to buy too many of those because they do add a lot of stuff, but you need your slots for other things. Because as a support, you would need to carry the mana potions, the tangos, the health potion, I forgot what it's called, healing salve, that's what it's called, and this is clarity. You need to carry dust if you have stealth champions. You need to carry the wards and maybe even the sentry wards. So you have a lot of stuff. You only have 6 slots, so you kind of don't get to buy a whole lot of other crap. But those are the recommended items for any champion. So this one, probably the healing salve, probably the tangos. A little bit later, these. And yeah, definitely go boots level 1. Where are they? Here. Boots level 1 first. So as your first item, unless you're in mid lane and you're pretty confident that you're not going to need them, then you buy bottle first. But boots are 450, so you might want to keep that in mind. The health steal item is, or life steal, sorry, is 900, so it's pretty expensive for the early game. Power threads are 1400. These are 1450. I don't know. Yeah, that's. I think these are cheaper. Yeah, these are cheaper than these. Face boots, I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, you can see them in the shop, and we will discuss the shop later. Oh, I forgot Bling Dagger. Well, how did I miss that? Bling Dagger is an item you buy instantly, and it gives you a blink. So it allows you to teleport from one position to another in a certain range, of course. And it is a great item. It allows you to use skills that you wouldn't normally be able to use. The problem is it can't help you to get out of a fight, because once you get hit, it has a 4-second cooldown. So every time you get hit, the cooldown resets to 4 seconds. So you have to not get hit by 4 seconds. So it's mainly used as an initiator. So you're running towards the enemy team, or you hide next to an enemy team, you blink on them, you stun all of them, and then the rest of the team comes in. That's how you use that. Not so much as a defensive item. But this one, together with Shadow Blade, are probably the most offensive tools in the items for getting into a fight undetected. But yeah, I can't believe I forgot Bling Dagger. Anyway, read the items, learn them. I'm still learning them, so or watch videos, see what other people buy. Watch my videos, see what I buy and why, because I tend to explain why I buy certain items. And sometimes it's just to try them out. Sometimes it's because I heard they're great. And yeah, I'll try to explain more on that later. So anyway, I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you next time. GG.